The James Show Podcast.
Well, an ICE shooting in Texas is getting some national attention. I'm James Parker. You're listening to The James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Now, nobody likes when this happens, but when we have an ICE shooting, the first thing you and I both ask, number one, was the person illegal? Number two, did they do anything that caused themselves to get shot? And, it's not like blaming the victim here. But the way these have come at you, and you've noticed this, you'll see this floating around in either the headlines on the news, TV, social media. It's always couched to you, did you hear that? ICE just murdered an American. A citizen? Well, no. I mean, he's been here for 35 years, though, so pretty much. So he's not a citizen. Well, he was applying for his work permit. Okay, so he doesn't have a work permit, and he hasn't completed the process or attempted in 30. He's had 35 years. Yeah, well, he just filled out the paperwork recently to try and get a permit. That's not really believable. 34 years of being fine, absconding our immigration laws. And in year 35, I'm supposed to believe that he was getting it together. So he's not supposed to be here, number one. Number two, what happened? Well, I shot him. Okay, so you're saying I just walked up to an innocent man and shot him in the head? Well, no. Okay, well, what's the circumstances? Well, you find out that he's in a car that got pulled over. They didn't want to stop. So they rammed an ICE vehicle. Not threatened to ram it, not accelerated toward it and almost rammed it. Rammed an ICE vehicle, almost hit an officer. Then and only then did they fire. And it's a lot like the Renee Good shooting. So now that you know all the truth here, let's play how it's covered in the news, which, I mean, it's not too insane on how it's covered in the news. But, it could have been a little bit better. Example, you go on social media, you look around and you see like James Tallarico. Here's what he tweeted. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was a father of 3. He lived in Houston for 35 years. On his way to work, ICE agent shot and killed him. His family learned from a video posted online. There must be accountability. We need a full independent investigation. Yeah, there should be accountability, but I mean, I'm not even sure if anybody did anything wrong here. Do we even know? It just looks bad. We don't have body cam footage. That kind of stinks. And I don't have a better answer on why we don't have body cam footage. But right there, you saw Tallarico sort of mimic the mainstream legacy news approach to that. Leave out the fact that they rammed federal agents in a vehicle. Leave out the fact that he refused to follow law enforcement commands. A lot of people say if you're trying to hit a cop with a vehicle, that's pretty much trying to murder a federal agent. But also, he's here illegally. Oh, he's been here for 35 years. You think that makes it sound better? You think that makes it sound more justified? For me, that's the opposite. Hey, bro, you've already gotten away with 35 years of skirting our laws and our rules. I think you got a pretty good break out of the system. But how is this reported in the news? Well, we've got to go talk to the family of the guy. Well, great. Here's the report.
This morning, there are growing calls for an independent investigation into a deadly shooting involving ICE agents in Houston.
Now, this comes as new details are revealed about why the agents were there in the first place. Our Chris Ottigi is in the newsroom this morning as we learn more about this case. Chris?
Well, Leah, there will be a community vigil tonight here in Dallas in memory of the father shot and killed by ICE agents in Houston on Tuesday. We now know he was not the man ICE agents meant to target. And that's not the only new revelation. ICE said 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo did not follow agents' commands and then tried to run one over with his van before being shot. However, his family wants an independent investigation because they say their father would have complied had he known the unmarked black SUVs that surrounded him were ICE agents. The reason they surrounded him is because they thought he was someone else. Homeland Security confirmed he resembled the intended target. Araujo's son says his father was a Mexican national who'd done all the paperwork for his work permit and that his dream was to raise his family in this country where he'd lived for 35 years.
Undocumented migrants are humans. I just want all Americans to know that my dad was a hardworking man, a family man, who wanted nothing more than to put food on the table and to watch his sons achieve the American dream.
And the other new detail is there will be no body camera video because the agents were not wearing any. Homeland Security blaming the partial government shutdowns for the delay in getting body cameras for all officers.
So a couple of inconsistencies you've noticed already. They hold vigils for any of these other people that die. What about all the people that were murdered here in North Texas in the last couple of weeks? You know, when you have the mass shootings at the Stop 6 or the mass shooting at the Fun Day at the Lake or the mass shooting at the After Hours Club. No vigils for those? That's so weird how some lives get vigils and others don't. It's almost like some people are more important than others. It's almost like some people are exploiting the death and suffering of fellow human beings for political gain. Yeah, he was an illegal immigrant. They're not really going to harp on that one too hard. Yeah, he had been here for 35 years. He had gotten away with it for 35 years. Kid or grown man, I'm sorry you lost your dad. It really is a tragedy. It's also a tragedy that whoever was driving the car rammed a federal car. Oh, well, we didn't know it was ICE agents. Well, what are you worried about? Oh, that's right. You're an illegal immigrant and you know that there's roundups. And I think you damn well suspected it was a ICE agent pulling you over. Do you just ram random cars? Is that what you do? If another car gets in front of you and you don't know if it's a cop, have you ever rammed it before? So the story's ludicrous, the situation tragic, and it's all performative because they don't really care about the deaths of their neighbors. They only care about certain deaths when it fits their politics, and they use that to emotionally blackmail people into voting against things that they otherwise wouldn't support or otherwise would support. And so now we'll see if they can try and make a poster child out of this. But this is what they like. This is what helps them. The more chaos they can get. I mean, Bruce Springsteen couldn't have written a song about ICE if not for Renee Good and Alex Preddy sacrificing themselves to the cause. And so I think that's what they're really hoping for here. Just another martyr that they can exploit for politics. Fox News just flashed on the screen from the New York Post that Trump told him that he's left specific instructions on what to do if Iran assassinates him. Oh my goodness. Well, they're really concerned about that. I mean, rightfully so. They kind of owe us one. We took out their leader. You'd be crazy to think that they wouldn't like to take out Trump. Also, Trump is demanding that Iran publicly states that the Strait of Hormuz is open and Tehran won't attack ships anymore. Well, that would be nice if they did that. I don't know how you're going to make them do that. But these are your two updates of things I have learned about the Iran situation since the James Show started. Now, a story that made local news this week in New York City, but you probably didn't hear about it. It's going to be New York City. It's going to be obvious why you haven't heard about it, and obvious why I'm playing this for you. We have 3 Christian churches that were firebombed on the same night. So normal people would look at that and say, okay, Molotov cocktails, same guy attacking 3 churches. This would be an anti-Christian attack. All right, we got ourselves a hate crime. And since, hate crimes and racism is so important, I mean, it makes national news if it's something like a George Floyd or a Carmelo Anthony or Jussie Smollett. But this one, do they even say the word Christian in this? This is from New York City's Channel 7.
And take a look at this disturbing video. Surveillance catching a man caught on camera throwing a Molotov cocktail at a Jehovah's Witness building in Queens, New York. Police say this was one of 2 attacks on houses of worship that happened last night, and that the 26-year-old man was linked to a 3rd incident as well. Charges are still pending.
So how do you talk about 3 churches getting firebombed and you don't say the word church? You don't say the word Christian. Yeah, it was a Jehovah's Witness building. Yeah, that's what it is. It's where they, I don't know, it could be where they keep their lawnmower. I don't know. Boy, isn't that something? These are the people that can see racism in a Sydney Sweeney blue jeans ad. These are people that see racism lurking around the corner. These are people that think more than half of America is racist. These are people that think that there's systemic white supremacy lurking in all of our institutions, and they are so hyper-tuned and sensitive to the issues of hatred and bigotry and discrimination, unless it's 3 churches getting firebombed. Then you don't say Christian, you don't say church, and you don't even put it together that this might be some kind of a hate crime. It's like, hey, God, can you believe some weirdo is throwing Molotov cocktails at these 3 completely unrelated buildings? We may never get to the bottom of why he did this. And here's the cherry on top. Your boy is an illegal immigrant. An illegal immigrant. So is illegal immigration a big story? Because you seem to want to talk about the fella in Houston that got killed by ICE agents. That's a big story. Why? Well, because immigration and enforcement and illegal immigrants doing bad things. That's a national story. Well, what about this one? No, not if it... We only like it if it makes illegal immigrants objects of sympathy. But the ones where it makes the illegal immigrants look bad, that's definitely not going to be a national story. Don't be such a bigot, Parker. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. All right, coming up next, we're going to play Name That Artist for 2 tickets to see the Coral Reefer Band. When Jimmy Buffett passed away, his band continued to play his music and keep his legacy alive, and they're going to be at Dickies Arena on July 25th. Yeah, that's coming up 2 weeks. You can get tickets and information at livenation.com, but if you want to win a pair of tickets from the James Show right now, all you got to do is name the artist to this montage. And since it's for Coral Reefer tickets, I did all yacht rock bands. All right. So if you can name these artists, you're going to want to call in, and I'm giving somebody the tickets in the next segment. But here's your montage for this week's Name That Artist.
Dirty low down. Wasted away again in Margaritaville. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy.
All right, so there's your montage for this week's Name That Artist. Mike in Waco. Hey there, Mike in Waco. You ready?
What's up, James?
All right. How confident are you in your knowledge of yacht rock, Mike in Waco?
I feel swimmingly well about it.
Oh, I like you staying with the theme here. All right, let's go. Let's hear your list. Ready, go.
Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Christopher Cross, Rupert Holmes. Oh, shoot. Bob Skaggs, Jimmy Buffett, Toto Eagles.
All right, he nailed it. Sorry, everybody else on hold. Mike in Waco has the perfect scorecard. Well done. Are you a big Jimmy Buffett fan?
Yeah, I actually love Buffett. Seen him several times over the years. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and got to see him there. Got to see him here in Frisco a few years back before he passed away, and big Kenny fan, too. In fact, I'm on my way up to Dickies Arena to see Big and Rich this weekend.
Dang. Well, you're having yourself a good time. I guess Waco's not too far for a concert. All right. Well, good job, Mike in Waco. You absolutely nailed it. I'm going to put you on hold, And is that regular Garrett or good Garrett in there? So one of the Garretts is going to get your information, and we will email you the tickets. For the rest of you, if you're interested to see the Coral Reefer Band at Dickies Arena next weekend, get tickets and information at livenation.com. Congrats again to Mike in Waco. Today's big winner on Name That Artist. Did you hear about the hidden cam man in Irving?
Irving police say there could be hundreds of victims of a man accused of secretly recording people. Investigators say Marcarius Bates spent months recording women in dressing rooms and restrooms at several businesses, including a TJ Maxx and a Kroger. Police say they found images dating back to April. They're now asking for any potential victims to come forward.
This is so weird. And it's not weird in the fact that I'm not used to there being perverts in the world. James, some guys are into this. Yeah, some guys are into this. Some guys put hidden cameras in dressing rooms. Some of them put it in toilets. Ugh. Some guys are into weird feet. But one of the things that I've noticed, and you've probably made this observation too, it's never a woman, is it? There's never a woman that's trying to sneak a camera into a men's fitting room. I mean, have you ever heard of that? Right? You hear about men going into women's spaces and trying to record them or take pictures of them or, I don't know, touch their feet. But you haven't heard a story. Oh, yes, authorities have arrested a 34-year-old redhead woman accused of putting a secret camera in the fitting rooms at the Bass Pro Shop. It hadn't happened once in your entire life. You know what? It's not going to happen once in your entire life, because there are just some weird maladies, especially around sex, that men have that women just don't. Have you even heard? Is there such thing as a woman with a foot fetish? You ever even heard of that? Because I always thought that was something on TV, and then I've met guys that actually have the foot fetish, and you can tell. Like I'm looking for it these days. Because like if I show someone a picture of, hey, this is me and my wife at the beach. And if a guy says, ooh, nice wedges. Most people are like, wedges? What, like orange wedges? What is she doing? No, he's talking about her shoes. And so I'm on to you guys. If you see a beautiful redhead in a bikini and you're looking at her feet, you're one of those guys, aren't you? So what does the Democrat Socialists of America plan to do if they get in positions of power? I'm James Parker. It's The James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Your home for the WBAP Morning Show. Catch Hal J and the crew whenever you wake up. So, Democrat Socialists of America have my attention because socialism is something you should take serious. Socialism and people who are saying the exact same things that these people are saying murdered 100 million of their own citizens in the 20th century alone. And it's taken otherwise great countries and driven them straight into the gutter over and over, pretty much everywhere it's tried. Soviet Union only lasted 70 years. You've seen what it's done to Venezuela. You've seen what it's done to Cuba. You've seen what it's done to China. And it shouldn't be taken lightly. Now, I love this mythology of if you just put Democrat in front of it, all the bad stuff goes away. Yeah, you lose all your rights and your liberty and you're in an authoritarian hellhole, but at least you voted for it. Is that what that's supposed to mean? So when we talk about what do they want to do, you're going to get a different question if you ask them in a media platform, because they are going to tell you the parts that they want the public to hear and leave out the parts they don't want the public to hear. So there have been people who've sort of, I don't want to say infiltrated, but people on the inside who are trying to get the word out that they really want to take America down. And it was pretty easy to come up with the montage of these people talking in what they thought was an otherwise safe space from the outside public ears. And it's not good.
And, you know, we have a unique responsibility to act from the heart of empire, the belly of the beast. The most important thing that we can do is take that empire down from within.
Our role ultimately is to facilitate our own empire's failure in ways that we can, ultimately to overthrow our own empire.
U.S. imperialism is not a thing that can be reformed away. It has to be overthrown through revolutionary struggle.
And to build a mass movement that can use the leverage of workers to hit the kill switch on American imperialism here within the American empire.
Well, they just keep saying empire over and over and over. They really think that they're, fighting Darth Vader? They really think that they're the rebels that are trying to take down the powerful? Isn't it bizarre? Because in the end result, they want communism. They want the people in charge to have even more power than the people in charge now have. You're not taking down empire. You're growing empire. Yes, we have to fight the system by making it even bigger. It's so bizarre. And I don't see how you can be. Look, I understand if you're a communist and you're 15, you never had a job, you never paid taxes, and all the good intentions is the level of thought you've put into it. By the time you're 20, 25, if you're still believing that, it's quite suspicious. If you're past 30 and you still believe that, then you're either an arrested development case, as in you didn't go past a certain point of maturity, or you have just been wholeheartedly duped. 800-288-9227. But you gotta take this stuff serious. When they say they want to take down empire, when they say they want to cause this system to collapse, what happens if they get in a position of power? Do they want the economy to grow? No. If you want a system to collapse, what do you want to do? You want to ruin the economy. How do you ruin the economy? How do you make us poor? Pay people to not work. Take money from working people, punish workers, incentivize sloth. So take money from people that work, give it to money to people who don't. And that has been the siren song of all previous socialist failures. Just look at the 20th century. What else would you do if you're one of these people in the DSA and you think America is the evil empire and you want it to collapse from within? You want the whole society to collapse. Well, here's one thing you could do. Not put criminals in jail. Let them roam the streets. Let them cause as much chaos and pain and suffering as possible until the people are crying out for a strong man to come save them. You've seen that happen before. What else would you do? Well, you would use every lever of power that you have to make the traditions and the mores and the behaviors that got you to the top look old and lame and like a fuddy-duddy. Gee, where have we heard that before? But when people tell you that they want to destroy the system, when people tell you that they want America to collapse, if you put those people in power, you are not going to like the results. Christopher Hitchens, he's been gone for a while. Do you know who Christopher Hitchens is? Like, Garrett, do you know who Christopher Hitchens is, or do I have to reacquaint people? Yeah, because when I started in talk radio, he was huge. And this was in the middle of the whole Iraq war in the 2000s. And he was a guy who was an avowed atheist and pretty lefty on a lot of issues. But he was pro-American in the fact that clearly we're the good guys, and clearly the theocratic Muslim world is the bad guys. And he was warning about Islam and the rise of Islam and how they're just lying to your face and you don't want them to do what they've done in every other country they've taken over. He's from England. He ended up dying in Texas in 2011. I just looked this up. He was only 62. But his words from 15 years ago still ring true now. One part is about how Muslims, they don't seem to be too happy.
If I was a Muslim and I thought, look, there's one book that says that the Prophet Muhammad has brought us all the truth we need, and if I adopt his precepts and I follow some very simple steps, I'll get to paradise. Suppose I believed such a contemptible, pathetic thing. Wouldn't it make me happy? Shouldn't it make me happy? It doesn't seem to make them happy. Why doesn't it make them happy? They can't be happy till everyone else believes it too. I should say that's a very bad sign of a pathological insecurity, among other things. And so, no, until they agree to leave me alone, I'm not going to give them any peace. No.
And one of the great examples of what Christopher Hitchens is talking about, you just watched happen during your lifetime in Lebanon. Lebanon used to not be a basket case. Lebanon used to be a bright, shining, almost westernized part of the Mediterranean, and it's not that anymore. Now there's bombs going off all over the place. They've got Hezbollah, they've got Hamas, they've got pretty much a civil war going for decades, and if it's not actively shooting, it's bubbling under the surface. Rupert Lowe was talking about that last month, because Lebanon used to be a Christian nation. And if you want to know what a country looks like when it goes from being a Christian nation to a Muslim nation, look at Lebanon.
When Lebanon got its independence in 1948, they were a Christian country, and they were a very confident country. They were, they had the best universities. They had a very open society. I never went to Beirut. I don't know if you went to Beirut, but Beirut in the 60s was meant to be the best place on earth to be. Great wine, freedom, very enlightened. It was lots of people were there. The minute that the Muslim population went over about 15%, you started to get a problem with a civil war. You got the Druze and Maronite Christians in a civil war with the Muslims, and now Lebanon is a Muslim country, and Hezbollah, backed by Iran, is effectively running the show.
And that's what I want you to think of the next time the Frisco Indian situation comes up, and there's like 62 mosques that are being proposed, and they want to build an epic city over here, and they want another Sharia city in Kaufman County, and they want another Sharia city. This is how that road ends up. Do you want to stop it now before it gets bloody? Or do you want to do the same thing Lebanon did and just keep allowing this to fester until we're in a shooting civil war and the streets are flowing with blood? It's up to you. All right, make a splash this summer. You can win $1,000 to spend on your next weekend getaway. It is the Summer Vacay Payday now at WBAP.com. You go to WBAP.com and we have the little headline rotators with the graphics at the top of the front page. Look for the Summertime Vacay Payday contest there. Click through, sign up, and I hope a James Show listener wins $1,000. Sponsored locally by Classic Chevrolet. Thank you, Classic Chevrolet, for putting up the money. Now go to WBAP.com, sign up for the Summer Vacay Payday now.
The James Show Podcast.